Hi everyone, this is Falan and I work with him trading as the head of training. Now I decided to do a video here to show you how you could find the sweet spots on your chart. I call them sweet spots on your chart. That means where are the zones where you want to trade from, where are the places where you want to take your trades from. Now if you look at this chart very well, this is the dollar yen pair. Obviously this is the daily chart. Now I do most of my analysis on the daily chart. Now this is the dollar yen pair. Looking at this chart, one of the first things that should come to your mind is, at what point do I buy or at what point do I sell? Now I tell you what, there are best places to take your buy trade, and there are areas where your sell trade is considered better than just trading randomly. Now I'll give you a simple scenario. For example, if you want to go swim, say for example you want to get yourself into a pool and you want to swim, and the instructor warns you and tells you clearly that, oh, the point A in the pool is a point that is very, very deep, as in if you go swimming in that area you stand the chance of being drowned, and I bet you nobody's going to rescue you. But if you swim towards the point B, oh well, it's a very shallow area, you don't need to be, you ain't going to drown, and in fact you wouldn't need anybody to rescue you, you're going to come out all by yourself. I bet you. The question is, at what point are you going to swim to? And I tell you what, I know very well you're going to stay exactly at point B, because you know quite alright that at that area you're going to rest assured that you ain't going to drown. Now it's in the same vein. If you look at this chart properly, you will understand that now at this point, or was that? Or you see, at this point, you would see that we had an uptrend here, and the market came into a consolidation phase. What do I mean a consolidation phase? That means a period whereby the market was trading in between a particular range. But I'm not going to talk about the market context here. I want to show you how you could easily spot out your key market zones before taking your trades. Now if you look at this chart very well, you want to know at what zones you want to take trade. Do I just take a trade at any point, or there are better places to take trade? Now this takes us to what we call support and resistance. This takes us to support and resistance. That's the key market levels. Now for example, if you look at this chart very well, I'm going to give you a very simple strategy that I use a lot of times, and it works. And though this is very simple, now any chart you open like this, the first thing you want to do is you click on what? The line chart. Can you see it? Click on the line chart. Once you click on the line chart, now you want to minimize your chart. Just zoom. Yeah, you can zoom out to ensure you have historical data. Now why did I do this? I did this in order to have my chart shrinked up so I could see history. Now in the forex market, history repeats itself. What do I mean? If a zone had been holding price bound for a very long time and price broke out, there's a high tendency that when price is approaching that zone again, it is probably gonna hold again in the near time. So what you want to do, as price approaches that level again, as a trader, you want to watch out for price action around that zone. That's what I mean. Now I'm going to show you something here. Just look at your screen. On this chart, this is the dollar yen pair, and with what I've done here, you would observe something. This is the USD pair on the line chart. Now you would notice something. What I want you to notice is, look at those areas that have more like rejections, more like a V-shape kind of. You would observe there's one here, there's probably one here, and you can see there are so many at this point, there's one here, and currently the market just bounced off from one recently. So you could be wondering, oh, price got to this point in time past, rejected it, managed to get there, this period didn't get there, came down again, oh now it broke out here though before finally taking up, came back again to do a last kiss around that zone, then zoomed off. Price came exactly to that area. Now look, from this period to this period, price has been hovering around that area. So what you want to do, you want to come to this point and click on what? The horizontal line. Once you click on horizontal line this way, you fix it exactly around that zone. Yes. Now note, this is not you cannot fix it exactly on the price, so you wouldn't say, oh, it's exactly at 101.33. no, you say around this area. I think there's a key level around this zone, I'm not looking at the line. Around this zone there's a key, what, a key market area around this zone. Now let's look at it to the upside. We could say, well, the upside, we could say, oh, well, there's one here, this zone here, there seems to be one around this area and one here also. So you could say price came to this point, it was rejected. Around this area you saw several rejection here and here again. So you could click another tool here, that's your horizontal line, and drop it on your chart, and let's bring it to this area again. Yeah, what do you have? So you have this, you have these two areas marked out on your chart. Now when price is moving to the upside and it meets a barrier like this, we call it a resistance, and to the downside is called a support. This is a support point, the support zone, this is a resistance zone. Now once you've done this, now I don't want to mark a whole lot. There are several others. I could also say, oh, around this zone I see some form of support in this area. Why? Because there's a bounce here, there's a bounce here, a bounce here, and several others. But now let's get back to candlestick and look at what we have. Yeah, exactly on that zone, you'll notice that I have marked out my key market levels, and this is what I call the sweet spots on the chart. Now remember, the first thing you do when you look at any market chart, what you want to see is that where are my sweet spots? Sweet spot means where are those areas where I want to take my trade. I tell you what, on this sweet spot, there's a high chance, there's a high tendency that your trade is going to work out. So what do? Any currency pair you go to, just zoom in, zoom out, and you have your screen shrink, go to your line chart and look at history. Remember the characteristics of price. Price has a repeated pattern. Price has a repetitive pattern, and price also has a memory. So that means what had happened in the past, there's also a high chance. There's a high chance that it's going to happen again. So now on this chart you will observe that around this area is where I want to take my buy trade. I want to buy from this area. Remember, you want to buy low. I want to buy from this area, and when it comes here, I want to do what? I want to sell. Come to this area, I want to buy. From here, I want to sell down. Now this market is clearly trending in a range, and you look at this. This is just a few days ago. Price came. Now this is USD, the dollar yen pair. Price came exactly to that spot. Again, now knowing fully well that this is my sweet spot, I'm still within the spot. Traders are currently long on this pair, that's the dollar yen, expecting price to come towards this area. Once it comes here again, you know what's going to happen? We're going to watch out for price action, sell signals from here to sell it down again to the lowest point. That is how I look out for my sweet spot on the forex market chart. So any currency pair at all, you could just look at the chart, go to the daily chart, shrink the chart, and go to your line chart. You want to watch out for areas when you have your V shapes, like your rejection. That quickly will let you spot out where your likely potential trade area is on the chart, and we call them the sweet spot. Thank you.